In the quiet of the night, as you finally lay down to rest, your body exhausted from the endless demands of the day, you expect peace. But instead of drifting into sleep, your mind becomes a battlefield. Worries about the future, regrets from the past, and a flood of emotions take over. It feels like you're losing control, like your own mind is working against you. If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. In today's world, stress, anxiety, and overthinking have become the norm. We react impulsively to situations, let emotions dictate our decisions, and allow external events to control our inner state. But what if you could break free? What if, no matter what happens around you, your mind remained calm, clear, and unshaken? This is the power of Stoicism. Stoicism is not just an ancient philosophy, it's a practical guide for mastering your mind in modern life. It teaches you how to take control of your emotions, stop worrying about what you can't change, and build unshakable inner peace. In this video, you will discover 10 powerful Stoic lessons that will transform the way you think, react, and live. These lessons will help you focus on what truly matters, eliminate unnecessary stress, and develop the mental strength to handle any situation with clarity and composure. We'll explore how to control what's within your power, manage emotions before they manage you, and let go of expectations that only lead to disappointment. You'll also learn how to live more simply, embrace challenges as opportunities, and build a mindset that thrives in adversity. Each lesson is packed with practical insights, real-life examples, and Stoic wisdom that you can start applying immediately. By the end of this video, you won't just understand Stoicism, you'll have the tools to live it. So stay with me until the end, because the final lesson might be the most important one of all. And if you find these ideas valuable, take a moment to hit like and subscribe. It helps share this knowledge with more people looking for peace and strength in their own lives. Now, let's dive into the first lesson and begin mastering your mind with Stoicism. Lesson 1. Focus on what you can control. There are things in life you simply cannot control. The weather, the economy, the opinions of others, or the unpredictable twists of fate. Yet, how often do we waste time worrying about these very things? We stress over how people perceive us, agonize over past mistakes, or try to force outcomes that are beyond our reach. And what does this bring us? Anxiety, frustration, a feeling of helplessness. But what if I told you that the key to true freedom, the key to mastering your mind, lies in focusing only on what you can control? Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about that for a moment. The events of life will unfold however they may, but your reaction is always within your control. Let's take a simple but familiar scenario. Imagine you've just poured months of effort into an important project, and in the end, it fails. The outcome isn't what you expected. The natural response: frustration, disappointment, maybe even anger. Your mind starts racing with thoughts like, "Why did this happen?" Or, "If only I had done things differently." But pause for a second. What is within your power at that moment? Can you change the past? Can you rewrite the outcome? No. But what you can do is control how you respond. You can choose to dwell on failure, or you can extract a lesson from it and move forward with resilience. This mindset applies to every aspect of life: relationships, careers, unexpected obstacles. So much of what happens is beyond your control. But what is within your control is how you interpret these events, how you react emotionally, and what actions you take next. Picture a time when someone treated you unfairly. Maybe they spread a false rumor about you or acted cruelly without reason. Your instinct might have been to retaliate, to prove them wrong, or to let resentment take root. But did that reaction change anything, or did it only bring you more turmoil? Now imagine if instead you had responded with composure, realizing that their actions were never yours to control, only your own. The peace that comes from this realization is life-changing. Seneca, another renowned Stoic, put it simply: we suffer more in imagination than in reality. The fear of what could happen, the regret over what has happened, these are illusions that we create in our own minds, and the more attention we give them, the more power they have over us. The way out? A shift in focus. Instead of worrying about what others think of you, focus on how you perceive yourself. Instead of stressing over outcomes, focus on your effort and preparation. Instead of fearing uncertainty, focus on your ability to adapt and endure. This doesn't mean you should ignore external events or pretend problems don't exist. It means you train yourself to respond to them with clarity, not panic. So how do you start applying this in your daily life? The next time you find yourself caught in a spiral of stress or frustration, ask one simple question: is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. If the answer is yes, focus on what you can do, not on what you wish would happen. This small habit alone can free you from countless hours of unnecessary suffering. When you embrace this Stoic principle, you develop a mindset that is unshakable. You stop being controlled by external circumstances and start controlling your own inner world. This is the first step to mastering your mind with Stoicism, and once you've taken it, you'll realize something incredible. Inner peace isn't found in changing the world around you. It's found in changing how you see it. Lesson 2. Don't let emotions control you. You're in an important meeting. Everything is going smoothly until your boss suddenly criticizes your work. The words hit you like a slap. Your heart starts pounding, your face heats up, and a wave of frustration and embarrassment rushes through you. In that moment, you feel like you have no control. Your emotions take over, and your mind spirals into anger, self-doubt, or even resentment. Sound familiar? This happens all the time. We let emotions dictate our reactions, cloud our judgment, and push us into decisions we later regret. But here's the truth. Emotions are not the enemy. The way we respond to them is. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that while emotions are natural, acting on them without control is a choice. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you." Think about that. No matter what happens, you always have a choice. You can let anger, fear, or sadness take control, or you can pause, observe, and respond with reason. But how do you do that in real life? Imagine you're stuck in traffic, running late for an important event. The frustration builds. Every red light feels like a personal attack. You start blaming the slow drivers, the city, even yourself for not leaving earlier. But take a step back. Does getting angry change anything? Does honking, swearing, or stressing out make the traffic disappear? No. What you can control is how you respond. You can take a deep breath, accept the situation, and use the extra time to listen to music, reflect, or simply practice patience. The moment you stop fighting what you can't control and focus on what you can, the frustration loses its power over you. Now, this doesn't mean suppressing emotions or pretending they don't exist. It means recognizing them for what they are: temporary reactions, not absolute truths. Seneca put it best: a raging fire quickly burns itself out unless it's fed. Your anger, your anxiety, your fear, if you stop feeding them with overthinking and impulsive reactions, they will fade. So how can you start applying this in daily life? The next time you feel a strong emotion taking over, pause. Instead of reacting instantly, ask yourself, is this response helping me? Does this emotion deserve my energy? If the answer is no, let it go. This small habit alone can transform your relationships, reduce stress, and bring a deep sense of inner peace. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean never feeling them. It means never letting them control you. And once you take control, you'll notice something incredible. People who once provoked you will lose their power over you. Situations that once stressed you out will no longer shake you. You'll walk through life with a calm, steady mind because you are in control, not your emotions. Lesson 3. Live by reason, not impulse. You've probably been in a situation where emotions took over and led you to say or do something you later regretted. Maybe it was a heated argument where anger clouded your judgment, or a moment of fear that held you back from an opportunity. We've all been there. But what if, instead of being controlled by fleeting emotions, you could rely on reason to guide your decisions? This is one of the core principles of Stoicism: living by reason, not impulse. The Stoics believed that while emotions are natural, they should never dictate our actions. Marcus Aurelius put it simply: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. What does this mean? It means that no matter what happens around you, whether it's an insult, a failure, or an unexpected challenge, you always have the ability to pause, think, and choose your response. Your first instinct may be to react emotionally, but with practice, you can train yourself to respond with clarity and wisdom instead. Imagine this. You've just received a harsh email from a colleague. Your initial impulse might be to fire back with an equally aggressive response, defending yourself and proving them wrong. But what would that achieve? Would it resolve the issue, or simply escalate the tension? Now, consider an alternative. You pause. You take a deep breath. You ask yourself, what is the best way to handle this? Instead of reacting emotionally, you craft a calm, professional response, one that addresses the issue without unnecessary conflict. The result? You maintain your composure, gain the respect of others, and keep control over the situation. This is the power of reason over impulse. Seneca once said, "A wise man is not subject to the storms of emotion, but observes them calmly, like a sailor watching the waves." When you train yourself to step back and think before reacting, you gain the ability to navigate life's challenges with a steady mind. Instead of being a prisoner to every emotion that arises, you become the master of your own actions. This principle applies to more than just difficult conversations. It affects how you handle stress, setbacks, and even personal habits. Think about the last time you made a decision purely out of impulse, maybe an unnecessary purchase, procrastination on an important task, or an emotional outburst that caused regret. What if instead you had paused and asked yourself, Is this action aligned with my long-term goals? So how can you start applying this in your daily life? The next time you feel a strong emotion urging you to react immediately, pause, count to 5, take a breath. Ask yourself, what is the wisest response? This small habit can transform the way you handle difficult situations, improve your relationships, and bring a deep sense of inner peace. Living by reason doesn't mean ignoring emotions. It means acknowledging them, understanding them, and choosing not to be ruled by them. And once you develop this skill, you'll notice something incredible. The more you rely on reason, the more stable and unshakable your mind becomes. Life's challenges will come and go, but you will remain steady, calm, in control, and guided by wisdom. Lesson 4. Have patience and perseverance. Think about the last time you wanted something to happen immediately. A promotion at work, mastering a new skill, or even seeing results from a personal goal. You started with enthusiasm, full of energy. But when progress was slow, frustration crept in, doubt followed, and before you knew it, you felt like giving up. This is the struggle of modern life. We expect instant results. We crave quick success. But Stoicism teaches a different path, one built on patience and perseverance. The Stoics understood that true mastery of the mind, of emotions, of life, takes time. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "No great thing is created suddenly any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I will answer that there must be time. First, let it blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen." What does this mean? It means that everything worthwhile in life, whether it's wisdom, skill, or success, must be cultivated with patience. Nothing meaningful happens overnight. Imagine an athlete training for the Olympics. Every day they wake up before dawn, they practice for hours, they face failure, pain, and exhaustion. But they don't quit after one bad performance. They don't walk away because they didn't win immediately. They persist, they endure, and eventually, through patience and relentless effort, they reach mastery. Now compare that to the way most people approach their goals. We expect success without struggle. We want transformation without discomfort. And when challenges arise, we see them as signs to quit rather than tests of our endurance. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Every setback, every delay, every unexpected obstacle is an opportunity to grow stronger. But this requires a shift in mindset. Instead of asking, "Why is this taking so long?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Instead of seeing struggles as barriers, see them as stepping stones. Think about Thomas Edison. Before inventing the light bulb, he failed over 1,000 times. When asked about his failures, he didn't complain. He simply said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the Stoic mindset in action. Instead of giving up, he saw failure as part of the process, and in the end, perseverance led him to success. So how can you apply this to your own life? The next time you feel like giving up, pause. Remind yourself that growth takes time, that setbacks are not signs to stop, but signs to keep going. Progress isn't always visible. Some days it will feel like you're standing still, but if you stay patient, if you push forward despite the discomfort, you will see results. When you cultivate patience and perseverance, You develop an unshakable mind. You stop chasing instant gratification. You stop fearing failure. And you start embracing the long journey ahead. Because in the end, success isn't about speed, it's about endurance. The question is, will you keep going? Lesson 5. Manage expectations. You wake up in the morning expecting the day to go smoothly. You assume your plans will unfold perfectly, that people will treat you kindly, that everything will go the way you imagined. But then reality hits. A friend cancels on you last minute. A project at work doesn't go as planned. Someone responds to your kindness with indifference, or worse, with hostility. Suddenly, you're frustrated, disappointed, maybe even angry. But why? What caused this emotional reaction? It wasn't the event itself. It was your expectation of how things should be. This is why managing expectations is one of the most powerful Stoic principles. The greater our expectations, the more suffering we create for ourselves. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil." Now, this isn't about becoming pessimistic or expecting the worst from people. It's about being mentally prepared for reality. When we expect life to be easy, we struggle with every setback. When we expect people to be perfect, we feel hurt by their flaws. But when we accept that challenges and disappointments are part of life, we stop being thrown off by them. Instead of reacting emotionally, we respond with understanding and resilience. Imagine you're excited about a job interview. You believe it's the perfect opportunity and you're convinced you'll get the offer. But when you don't, the disappointment is crushing. Now, consider a different approach, the Stoic mindset. You prepare for the interview, give your best effort, but remind yourself, the outcome is uncertain. It's out of my control. If you don't get the job, you're not shattered. You move forward, knowing that life continues. Seneca put it best. If you live in harmony with nature, you will never be poor. If you live according to opinion, you will never be rich. This means that when we align our expectations with reality, we find peace. But when we expect the world to conform to our desires, we constantly feel let down. Think about your own life. How many times have you felt disappointed, not because something truly bad happened, but simply because reality didn't match your expectations? So how do you apply this Stoic lesson? Start by adjusting your mindset. Instead of expecting everything to go perfectly, remind yourself, life is unpredictable, people are imperfect, challenges will come. This doesn't mean you stop hoping for good things. It means you stop depending on them for your happiness. Try this today. The next time something doesn't go your way, instead of reacting with frustration, pause. Ask yourself, was I expecting something unrealistic? When you lower your expectations of things beyond your control, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Managing expectations isn't about becoming indifferent. It's about becoming prepared. It allows you to stay calm in the face of setbacks, to appreciate life as it unfolds, and to focus on what truly matters. Because in the end, peace isn't found in getting what you expect. It's found in accepting what is. Lesson 6. Live simply. You wake up, check your phone, and see an ad for the latest gadget. You scroll through social media and compare your life to people traveling the world, buying luxury cars, and living in million-dollar homes. You start to feel like you don't have enough. like you need more to be happy. But do you? Or is this just an illusion? The Stoics believed that true happiness doesn't come from having more, but from needing less. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." We live in a world that constantly tells us we need more money, more success, more recognition. But the more we chase, the more restless we become. We spend our lives accumulating things, hoping they'll bring fulfillment, only to find that they never do. Imagine a man who works long hours, sacrifices his health, and neglects his relationships, all in pursuit of wealth. He tells himself, "Once I reach this level, I'll finally be happy." But when he gets there, it's not enough. He sets a new goal, then another. No matter how much he achieves, there's always something missing. This is the trap of materialism. It convinces us that happiness is somewhere out there, always just beyond our reach. But what if the key to happiness wasn't in getting more, but in wanting less? Think about a time when you felt truly content. Was it because of something expensive? Or was it a simple moment? Sitting with a loved one, enjoying a quiet morning, laughing with a friend? The truth is, peace comes from simplicity. When you stop chasing external validation and start appreciating what you already have, you free yourself from endless dissatisfaction. Marcus Aurelius put it best, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." When you simplify your life, when you stop craving more, stop competing with others, and stop letting external things define your worth, you experience true inner peace. You realize that the most valuable things, time, health, relationships, can't be bought. So how can you apply this to your life? Start small. Look around you. Is there something you've been chasing that isn't bringing real fulfillment? Let it go. Instead of buying more, practice gratitude for what you already have. Instead of filling your schedule with distractions, make time for what truly matters. The less you need, the more free you become. Living simply doesn't mean depriving yourself. It means removing what's unnecessary so you can focus on what's truly important. And when you do that, you'll discover something incredible. Happiness isn't found in having more, it's found in wanting less. Lesson 7. Take responsibility for your life. There's a moment in life when you look around and realize something. No one is coming to save you. Your problems, your failures, your future. They are your responsibility, not your parents', not society's, not fate's, yours. And that is both terrifying and liberating. Too often we blame circumstances for where we are. I didn't get the promotion because my boss plays favorites. I can't improve my health because life is too stressful. I would be happy if only people treated me better. But the truth is, we are the architects of our own lives. Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That's the Stoic mindset. It's not about what life throws at you, it's about what you do with it. Imagine two people who face the same challenge, losing their job. One blames the economy, their employer, or bad luck. They sink into frustration, waiting for things to change. The other immediately asks, "What can I do next? How can I grow from this?" They update their skills, explore new opportunities, and take action. A year later, one is still complaining. The other has built something better. The difference? One took responsibility, the other didn't. Seneca put it bluntly, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Every difficulty is a test. You can either face it head-on and become stronger, or avoid it and remain weak. Think about it. When was the last time you took full responsibility for something that went wrong? Not just partially, fully. It's uncomfortable, but it's also where real growth happens. Taking responsibility isn't about blaming yourself for everything. It's about owning your choices, your mindset, your habits, your reactions. These are yours to control. If you're unhappy, ask yourself, what can I change? If you've failed, ask, what can I learn? No more waiting, no more excuses. So here's a challenge. The next time you catch yourself blaming something external for your problems, stop. Take a deep breath. Ask, what is within my control? Then act. Even the smallest step in the right direction is better than standing still. When you take full responsibility for your life, something powerful happens. You stop feeling helpless. You stop waiting. And you realize that you are in control no matter what happens around you. That is what it truly means to master your mind with Stoicism. Lesson 8. Stay present. Your mind is rarely in the present. It's either trapped in the past, replaying mistakes and regrets, or racing ahead into the future, worrying about things that haven't even happened yet. And in doing so, you miss the only moment you truly have control over, right now. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." Why? Because the past is unchangeable and the future is uncertain. Yet most of our suffering comes not from reality itself, but from our attachment to these illusions, wishing we had done something differently, or fearing what's to come. The result? Anxiety, stress, and a life that feels like it's always somewhere else. Imagine this. You're drinking your morning coffee, but your mind is already at work, worrying about deadlines. You're having a conversation with someone, but instead of listening, you're thinking about what you'll say next. You're out for a walk, but instead of enjoying it, you're lost in thoughts about tomorrow. The moment passes, and you weren't even there to experience it. Now, picture an alternative. You drink your coffee and actually taste it. You listen to someone and truly hear them. You take a walk and notice the air, the sounds, the sensations. Suddenly, life feels richer, clearer, lighter. That's the power of presence. When you stop living in what was or what might be, you free yourself to fully live what is. Seneca put it simply, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. How many times have you stressed over something that never actually happened? How often has your mind made a problem bigger than it actually was? When you stay present, you realize that most fears, most worries, exist only in your head. So how do you start living in the present? Start small. Throughout the day, check in with yourself. Ask, what am I focusing on right now? If your mind is drifting to the past or future, gently bring it back to now. When eating, eat. When listening, listen. When walking, walk. The more you practice, the more control you'll have over your own mind. Living in the present isn't about ignoring the past or future. It's about realizing that true peace exists only in this moment. And the more you master this skill, the more you master your mind with Stoicism. Lesson 9. Accept suffering and challenges. Life will test you. You will face loss, failure, rejection, and moments of deep pain. And in those moments you might ask, why is this happening to me? But the Stoics would tell you that this is the wrong question. Instead, ask yourself, how can I grow from this? Because suffering is not an obstacle, it is a path to strength. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that every hardship, every challenge is not blocking your path. It is the path. We often try to avoid pain, run from struggles, or wish for an easier life. But the truth is, adversity is what shapes us. Without it, we don't grow. Imagine a blacksmith forging a sword. The raw metal is placed into fire, hammered repeatedly, and cooled in water, again and again. Without this process, it remains weak. But through struggle, through heat and pressure, it becomes unbreakable. The same applies to you. Every difficulty is forging your mind, making you stronger and more resilient. Seneca put it bluntly, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Think about it. When has ease ever made you stronger? When has comfort ever built resilience? The people who achieve greatness, who develop true wisdom, are not those who have avoided hardship. They are the ones who have faced it, endured it, and learned from it. Consider a setback in your life, a failure, a disappointment, or a loss. Instead of resisting it, accept it. Instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What can I take from this?" When you shift your mindset, suffering loses its grip on you. It no longer controls you, it empowers you. This doesn't mean ignoring pain. It means acknowledging it, feeling it, but not letting it define you. The next time you encounter a hardship, remind yourself, this is training. This is my moment to grow. Breathe through the discomfort. Observe your emotions, but don't become them. When you learn to accept suffering as a natural part of life, you become unshakable. You realize that no matter what happens, you will endure, you will adapt, you will rise again. Because in the end, strength isn't found in avoiding pain, it's found in facing it and coming out stronger on the other side. Lesson 10. Meditate and reflect daily. Every day, you experience thousands of thoughts. Some bring clarity, others bring doubt. Some push you forward, others hold you back. But how often do you pause and reflect on them? How often do you take a step back and observe your own mind? This is why the Stoics practiced daily meditation and self-reflection, not as a religious ritual, but as a way to master their thoughts, their actions, and ultimately their lives. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." His personal journal, Meditations, wasn't written for anyone else. It was his way of keeping his mind disciplined, his emotions in check, and his purpose clear. If a man ruling the vast Roman Empire took time to reflect each day, what does that say about its importance? But meditation isn't just about sitting in silence, and reflection isn't just about looking back. The Stoics saw these practices as mental training, a way to observe their thoughts without judgment, to analyze their actions, and to improve themselves daily. Imagine ending your day by asking yourself, what did I do well today? What could I have done better? How did I handle challenges? Instead of letting emotions control you, you gain awareness. Instead of repeating mistakes, you learn from them. Seneca advised, we should every night call ourselves to account. What infirmity have I mastered today? What passions opposed? What temptation resisted? What virtue acquired? This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. A small reflection each day compounds into wisdom over time. So, how can you apply this? Set aside just 5 minutes a day. In the morning, ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? At night, reflect. Did I live up to that? If not, what will I do differently tomorrow? Write it down if you can. Keep a simple journal like Marcus Aurelius, not for others, just for yourself. When you make this a habit, something powerful happens. You become more aware of your thoughts. You become more intentional with your actions. You stop living on autopilot and start living with purpose. And that is how you truly master your mind with Stoicism. Over the past few minutes, we've explored the core principles of Stoicism. 10 powerful lessons that can help you master your mind, control your emotions, and find true inner peace. From focusing on what you can control to managing expectations, from accepting suffering to daily reflection, these are not just abstract ideas. They are practical tools you can use to navigate life with clarity and resilience. At the heart of it all is one simple truth. You are in control of your mind. No matter what happens around you, no matter what challenges you face, you always have the power to choose your response. And that is where true freedom begins. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Now the question is, what will you do next? Knowledge without action is meaningless. Start small. Choose one Stoic principle from today's video and apply it. Maybe it's pausing before reacting. Maybe it's writing down your thoughts at the end of the day. Maybe it's simply reminding yourself that you don't have to be ruled by emotions. Whatever it is, commit to it. Because change happens through practice, not just understanding. And the more you apply these lessons, the stronger and more unshakable your mind will become. If this video helped you see things differently, take a moment to hit like, not just for us, but to help more people discover these life-changing ideas. If you haven't yet, subscribe to Stoic Teachings today for more content on Stoic principles, emotional control, and inner peace. And if one of these lessons resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Let's build a community of people striving for wisdom, strength, and resilience. Remember, you are not a victim of circumstance. You are the master of your mind, and that is the most powerful thing of all.